and 8th graders. Welcome to placing and punctuating adjective modifiers today. Fairly easy lesson. You could pretty much probably just read the lesson and be able to do it for yourself. But page 151 in your grammar book, and the blue boxes, it's important where we place and how we punctuate commas and so on and so forth. Our adjective modifiers. Some of them need special placement. It's important where you place them because it could change the meaning of your sentence. Take a look at number 1. Make sure to place adjective modifiers so that they sensibly modify the noun or pronoun you intend. Now, I'm going to read the 3 example sentences and watch how it changes the meaning of the sentence and the descriptions of the sentence when you move the modifier around. All right, the first one. The representative from Australia showed a film about kangaroos. So we have the sentence, and we can clearly see that the representative is the person from Australia, and he showed everybody a video about kangaroos. Now in the second sentence, we're going to move from Australia to another location. The representative showed a film from Australia about kangaroos. Now the film is the thing that's from Australia. The representative, we don't know where he's from, but the film itself is from Australia. Now we're going to move from Australia again. The representative showed a film about kangaroos from Australia. So now the kangaroos are the things that are from Australia. See, it's important that you place your adjective modifier immediately after, or as close as possible to the item that you're modifying. Typically, it will come right after, especially if it's phrases. If it's phrases, it's going to come immediately after the word that it modifies. Adjective phrases and clauses should come immediately after the words they modify. See, number 2, that tells you that. Anytime you have an adjective, phrase, or clause, they will typically come immediately after the word that they modify. So that's how you know where to find them. Here's some misplaced examples. It's very funny when you move that phrase or clause to a spot where it doesn't belong, because sometimes it can make for a very humorous sentence, such as, the hunter shot the deer with the red hat. Now, I'm sure this is not a Disney movie, and the deer was not wearing a red hat. I'm sure it was the hunter that was wearing the red hat. So we need to move the phrase with the red hat right after hunter. The hunter with the red hat shot the deer. The deer wasn't the one wearing the red hat. Here's another one. The postman delivered a package to my neighbor that weighed only 12 ounces. Wow, that is a small neighbor. 12 ounces. That neighbor must have been like that big or something. No, that's not what it's trying to say. The clause, the adjective clause is in the wrong spot. You need to move it to the right spot. So it should read, the postman delivered a package that weighed only 12 ounces to my neighbor. Do you see the difference? Make sure you put phrases and clauses immediately after the words that they modify. Sometimes you can have an adjective phrase that begins the sentence. These will be your participial phrases. And if you have an adjective phrase, a participial phrase at the very beginning of your sentence, it must modify the subject, okay? Participial phrase at the very beginning of your sentence must modify the subject. For example, I can see the neighbor's travel trailer looking through my window. The neighbor's travel trailer is not an animate object. It does not come to life like on cars and peek through your window. That is not what's happened. Who is the person looking through the window? It is I. I is the one, so you need to move it to the beginning. Looking through my window, I can see the neighbor's travel trailer. Do you see the difference? You need to make sure you have it correct. Here's another one. Spinning out on the last turn, the car race was lost. Did the car race spin out on the last turn? No, it wasn't the car race that spun out on the last turn. It was probably one of the cars or the drivers of the cars that spun out on the last turn. So you need to fix your sentence so that the subject is the item that the phrase is modifying, such as, spinning out on the last turn, the favored driver lost the car race. Now, it was the driver was the one that spun out on the last turn, not the car race. So you need to switch your subject so that it can be something that the participial phrase can modify. Punctuating adjective clauses, non-essential clauses, and non-essential participial phrases should be set off by commas. Non-essential means you don't need it. It won't change the meaning of the main sentence if you don't have it. So if you don't need it, put commas around it, okay? Don't need it, use commas. For example, Jeffrey Brown, who is now a graduate student, enjoys doing research. How do we know if it's essential or not? Just get rid of it when you read your sentence and test it out. Jeffrey Brown enjoys doing research. Now, does the sentence change at all? No, it doesn't. So we don't need it, we stick commas around it. Now here's another one. No one who rejects Christ will go to heaven. Is who rejects Christ essential or not? Let's get rid of it, see if it changes the meaning of our sentence. No one will go to heaven. Wow, that really changes the meaning of the sentence. That's not a true statement. Only the ones who reject Christ won't go to heaven. So it does change the meaning. We need it. Don't use commas around it. Okay? Don't use commas around it. Now, a little important note, if you have an introductory participial phrase, if at the very beginning you have that participial phrase at the very beginning, it always has commas around it, whether it's essential or not. Introductory participial phrases always use commas. All right, you're going to be doing exercises A, B, C, and D on pages 151 and 152. Do your work, take pictures of your work and upload them to me so I can check your work and making sure that you're understanding what you're supposed to be doing. Take pictures of your work, upload them to me on My School Works. Make sure you write something in the body of the message on My School Works so that it will send properly. Otherwise it won't send and I don't get anything and then you end up getting zeros. You don't want to do that, especially if you did all the hard work already. So make sure you send your work to me. Class, I'm missing all of you. I think only one of you, Glory, because I live with her and I make her do it all. But I haven't received any of your quizzes and tests. Quizzes from last week, the adjective phrase quiz and the adjective clause quiz. You guys need to get those turned in. Also, your adjective, right? Yeah. Also, your literature test from yesterday. Again, I haven't received any of those. Make sure you get those turned into me. Just take a picture of your answers, upload it to My School Works, get it to me, double check that I got it. You know, call me, send me a text message, say, hey, I sent it, did you get it? Or send me a separate message saying, you know, can you please confirm with me that you got this? Otherwise, I may not get it. And those that I don't get, they don't just get skipped over, they will get zeros. So make sure you get your answers into me so that I can grade them. No literature reading today. I think we're taking a short break from literature reading for a short while. Take that literature test, get those answers to me. Have a great day.